Hello class, now in this video we will see how the working of master cylinder take place. In the previous lecture we gone through the construction of it. I will see how exactly it works. As I told you, the inside the reservoir the brake fluid are filled up to the maximum level of up to the maximum marking on it. Okay, even the region of bypass port, intake port, this piston region, okay, in between cylinder and piston region, after that region in front of the primary seal, that is compression chamber, after that this line guided towards a caliper entirely filled with the brake fluid. Okay, so there is no any chance of air or no any chance or no any presence of air or gases is tolerated. So entire thing is filled with the oil over here till the brake line or till the caliper. So now whenever driver are supposed to apply a force in this direction, okay, whenever driver applied the force on this direction, okay, on the push rod, the piston along with the primary seal start to move in this direction. Okay, so whenever it moving, okay, first of all it start to cover this bypass port. As soon as it cover this bypass port, the pressure built up start inside the compression chamber. Whenever the pressure inside the compression chamber are reaches to 9 to 10 bar or 9 to 11 bar, the pressure of this oil supposed to penetrate this cup seal. Penetrate meant to say it's responsible to deflect this cup seal in inward. As I told you, the check valve having a small hole over here, present over here. Okay, so this check valve having one small hole. So this built up pressure are responsible to deflect this cup seal inward through this hole present on the check valve. And whenever it deflect inward, the pressurized fluid come into contact with the fluid present into the brake line. Okay, so this brake line fluid again get pressurized. As this pressurized fluid get this brake fluid get in the brake fluid present in the pressure brake line get pressed by this pressurized fluid inside the compression chamber. The entire pressure get transmitted to your caliper, and whenever it reaches to caliper, it applied behind the cup cylinder of your caliper in order to push your brake pad towards the discs in order to have a in order to grab discs in between them. Okay, so in that way your brake supposed to apply whenever driver releases the brake or the brake lever. Okay, so one thing is need to remember, whenever piston is moving in this direction while applying the brake, this spring is present in between the check valve and the primary seat is also get deflected. Okay, so as a in case of the drum brake, there is a retaining spring is present. So similarly this spring also plays a role of retaining spring over here. So whenever driver releases the foot or the hand from the brake pedal or the foot lever, hand lever or the foot lever, okay, or it remove the force from the brake lever, okay, then this spring are try to expand, because as it get compressed during the forward action, now it try to expand. Okay, that time it move in this direction. Okay, so this spring start to move in this direction. As it gets squeezed completely, start to move in this direction. Okay, so during that time, this end of the spring pushing this check valve against this seats. Due to this check valve hold tightly against this seat, so whatever the pressure rise fluid present behind this check valve till the caliper up to the 10 to 12 bar, that is 9 to 10 bar, is remain at that position only, at that pressure only, and spring start to move in this direction, or start to move, I mean to say start to expand in this direction against this check valve, and it start to pushing this piston backward. So as piston moving backward, okay, as piston is moving backward and no fluid coming from this region to here, as this fluid present behind this check valve is up to 10 to 9 to 10 bar. Okay, but it not come allowed to come here into the compression chamber due to tight holding of check valve against the seat by spring. Vacuum get generated inside the compression chamber because piston is moving in this direction, check valve hold against this seat by spring, but spring want to expand, so spring expand in this direction. with respect to movement of piston in this direction. Okay, so whatever the increases volume is not fulfilled by your any kind of fluid. Okay, so vacuum is generated because during that time your this piston is supposed to present over here. Okay, just it is, imagine, just it is just present over here at this region. Okay, still it is not, still it is not reaches, sorry, just a minute. Okay, so still it is, suppose your piston is present over here. Okay, that is rubber seal I had drawn. So your rubber seal is here. After some time it will reaches to here. Okay, so with respect to elongation of spring, with respect to expansion of spring, okay, the volume is increasing inside the compressor, but that volume is not fulfilled by any kind of fluid. Okay, so vacuum is generated. So this vacuum, as soon as generated, is responsible. If this vacuum is generated, okay, the spring won't get elongate further, because vacuum generated, then it will stop there. So to have entire expansion of this spring till it's a final end point, means till here, okay, we supposed to suppress that vacuum. So to suppress that vacuum, we have connected this intake port here. Okay, intake port to cylinder. So to suppress that vacuum, fluid from intake port are entering here and start to traveling through this groove and deflecting this primary seal and filling the this vacuum portion. Till here your primary seal is not crosses your bypass port, it is somewhat here. Just a minute. Your primary seal is somewhat here. Okay, it is still in front of your bypass port. So to suppress that vacuum, fluid from intake port coming here, it deflecting this primary seal and coming front of the compression front of the primary seal in order to suppress. With respect to the backward motion of your piston, elongation of spring take place. Okay, and vacuum gets suppressed to excess fluid coming from this intake port deflecting primary seal. Okay, that phenomena. Okay, so this thing is happen whenever piston are moving backward direction. Okay, now suppose your spring is deflected completely and it reaches to this position. Okay, piston the piston is reaches to at this position and spring is elongated completely. Now the pressure present here is 1 bar, because this is the atmospheric pressure maintained over the maximum level. The same pressure is conveyed here, same pressure is conveyed through here, and here inside the compression chamber 1 atmospheric pressure is maintained, because as bypass port is also open, so here 1 atmospheric pressure is present. But as I told you, the pressure, high pressure fluid which was enter inside the brake line while applying the brake line are still there. Okay, so that brake line fluid start to deflecting this check wall as your string is completely elongated. Okay, by a primary series goes beyond the bypass port. Okay, this entire compression chamber volume is filled by extra fluid coming from intake port while suppressing the vacuum. So whatever the fluid goes into the brake line during brake application are at the pressure of 9 to 10 bar are want to come back, and here as I told you, it is a 1 atmospheric pressure, 1 bar pressure, and here fluid was uh, which was there during the brake application are want to come back at the pressure of 9 to 10 bar. So it start to coming into the compression chamber due to the pressure difference, and while coming into the compression chamber it start to pushing the check wall and it start to lifting the check wall and coming through this way into the compression chamber. Okay, but as I told you that it is already filled, extra fuel coming from the intake port during the suppression of vacuum. So if the extra fuel present over here, if we not uh, shifted somewhere else in order to occupy new coming fluid in or in order to take or in order to occupy, I mean to say in order to allow the flow of this 10 to 9 bar fluid into the compression chamber, we have to replace this extra added fluid somewhere else. You have to shift it, otherwise what happens, the 9 to 10 bar fluid won't come into the compression chamber, okay, and it will not release the brake pad against your disc, or simply we can say the brake pad get disc the brake pad get tightly hold, or keep it tightly hold against the disc. So that is the issue. So in order to shift that extra fluid present in the compression chamber somewhere else, okay, in order to occupy those fluid which was went there during the brake application, we have to use this bypass port. So whenever 9 to 10 bar fluid start entering here, due to the pressure difference, it deflects in the check valve, and whatever the extra fluid was enter over here during the suppression of vacuum start to exit through this bypass port into the reservoir. So entry of this uh, high pressure fluid are only possible due to the presence of this bypass port. So whatever the extra fluid we have taken in order to suppress the vacuum start to moving through this way, okay, and our extra fluid start to moving through this way into the reservoir, okay, and the whatever the fluid went to brake line in order to have the in order to apply the brake start entry here by deflating the check valve, and it is just entering into the compression chamber. So at this position your entire system get balanced properly due to the pressure difference, okay. So we can summarize here. Whenever driver supposed to apply a force on the push rod, okay, that time this piston along with the primary seal move further. It's first of all closes the bypass port. Whenever it closes the bypass port and reaches somewhat over here, pressure built up starts up to 9 to 10 bar. Whenever pressure built up pressure reaches to 9 to 10 bar, that time that pressure is sufficient to deflate this cup seal, okay, inward, and that pressure start penetrating check valve and entering to the brake line. Whenever it reaches to brake line, pressure get applied behind the cup shaped piston of the caliper, and brake get applied. Whenever driver releases the brake pedal, its push rod move backward due to this retaining spring, okay. Whenever this retaining spring get elongated, as during the brake application this spring get contract or get squeezed, now it start to expand, okay. Whenever it expanding, first of all it pushing the check valve against this seat, and it start to pushing piston in this direction, okay, in this direction. Whenever it pushing the piston in that direction, the piston won't directly reaches to here, it reaches step by step, okay. So initially if it is here, after that it is here. So in that way the step by step reaches, but whenever it step by step reaches towards its idle position or a dead position, vacuum get generated, because as we are not allowed to enter the 10 to 9 bar pressure fluid which was in the brake line into the compression chamber. So vacuum will generate with the further movement of piston in backward direction. So that vacuum gets suppressed by the intake port fluid. The extra fluid coming to intake port, and it start to travel through this groove present on the piston, deflecting to this primary seal and coming in front of the primary seal in order to suppress the vacuum. And at the end, whenever piston is reaches to this dead portion, this compression chamber get filled by the extra fluid which is coming from the intake port. Now now the entire fluid spring is elongated, it get fully expand. Now to chance the occupy or allow to enter the fluid which was responsible to apply brake in brake line. So that fluid was 10 to 9 bar pressure that start to entering into the compression chamber, but it will enter through check valve. First of all, it deflates the check valve. It deflates the check valve, and through this way it's supposed to enter. Okay, so whenever it entering, if we block, if this bypass port was not there, then what will happen? This extra fluid and this 9 to 10 bar fluid will present over here and brake line also, in the brake line also. So due to the presence of extra fluid and the 9 to 10 bar pressure fluid, the whole thing get stuck at that position only, and the brake wheel, road wheel or the brake are keep at the engaged position only. So in order to release the brake in two sense, we should provide here bypass port. So whatever the extra fluid we have taken over here, in order to suppress the vacuum, that should exit to this way into the reservoir. So extra fluid of the 10 to 9 bar can be entered to the check valve. So the fluid traveling here to here, here to here, okay, it just done due to the pressure difference. Whenever vacuum suppression is there, that time here 1 bar is pressure, 1 bar pressure, and here vacuum pressure. So that's why fluid are passing through here, penetrating front side of the primary cell. Whenever this fluid are coming here, that time here atmospheric pressure and here 9 to 10 bar pressure. So the pressure difference draws the fluid one side to other side. So this is the master cylinder, how it actually works. So any of the hole, get blocked over here may responsible to inefficient working or spongy inefficient working of your master cylinder, or the efficiency reduces. Even though if any any compressible fluid like gases, water vapor get trapped inside your brake line, this makes your movement of this push rod a spongy or the very gradual one. So all these things are happen within a fraction. Okay, whenever your brake line is completely gas free or the vapor free or the air free. Okay, so whenever any air get trapped or any gas get trapped, any water vapor get trapped inside the brake line, your piston movement forward and backward both are become very spongy. It's just like a sponge, it's supposed to operate. Okay, it won't hard. So this thing, whenever we notice, then we can directly say the air get trapped in your brake line. So this is how exactly your master cylinder works. So if you feel still any difficulty to understand the concept, as it is somewhat complex to remember step by step, you may ask me on your comment section. Thank you.